Okay. So once again, here we are, and we didn't switch on the recording right at the beginning. We're 6 minutes in, but you'll get plenty on this recording, I hope. So, Kavi says every so occasionally one has to gut punch somebody, and say something which maybe they don't want to hear, but it's what they need to hear in that moment. So I always say this as well. I'm in a big hurry, but I'm never in a hurry. So whereas I would like everybody, I would like that I was a senior presidential director in 27 days. It was 14 months, because I'm never going to, push people. I might push myself, but I'm never going to push people. I try and inspire people, but I've seen other people, somebody comes in on a gold. That means they've invested a substantial amount of money, or they've come in on a diamond, and then somebody says, but they're not doing anything. Well, have you actually told them how this works, what they could need to do, what is the first thing to do, what is the second thing to do, etc., etc. So, there's a lot of hand-holding that you have to do. I'm pretty good at that. But some other people, they just think, okay, I've sponsored 6 people and they haven't done anything and they're no good. You can't look at people like that. You have to ask them, what is it you want to do here? If you want to develop this as a business, these are the things we need to talk about. These are the first things. How fast do you want to go? For example, if you want to go fast, what are we going to do in the first 30, 60, 90 days? Help people register new people. I know it's very simple, but many people don't do that. If I tell everybody, always help the first people you're bringing in to register new people, because I can't tell you the amount of times I've been on phone calls with Ireland tidying up messes because people said they just gave their link and the other person registered and muddled up, or the first person didn't figure out which leg they wanted the person on. So you really need to work with people at the beginning to transmit how to do this, the practical side. I'm going to add another thing. 80% of this, seriously, 80% of this is the work you do on yourself. 20% is the mechanics and how it works and so on. But it's really important to work that you do on yourself. The other week we were lucky enough to have Nedra come and talk about some exercises to help with money blocks. But there's a lot of people who say, for example, money's not important, and I go, well, okay, but this money here is, or I'll say it this way: when I found myself in the fortunate position of 1,000 people in my organization, and I remembered all the stories that people had told me. I hadn't spoken to all those 1,000 people, but there were a lot of amazing stories. And I saw the money that was landing weekly in my wallet. I said, you know what? And I told the group at the time, go make a fortune, because the more money you make, the more people you're helping. So if people are saying, I want to help people, but money's not important to me, there's already something that's not working right. So I guess that's a series of answers to your question. I hope that helps. You can unmute if you like, if you want to comment on that.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
Cool. So there is some other questions here. Let's go to the beginning. Signing up an individual is easy. Finding a business leader is more challenging. Yes, Quinton, that's true. But as Steve and Gina always say, and we're all very well aware of the 80-20 rules, sign up 20 people on each leg and 4 will naturally be wanting to do this. I've signed so far, I think it's 42 people, and about 8 out of those 42 are actually doing something. But then again, I go back to it's a process. For everybody, it's a process, and their timing, each person's timing is different. So sometimes right at the beginning, we really want people to be a business builder from the beginning, but they have to go through their process as well. Some people are very clear. I want to try this and I want to see if it works with me. Other people are from the very beginning, I'm looking for something to make money as well as health, but I'm actually looking for something to make money. So they'll really go for it. So you really do need to understand where people are at. And as Javi says, love them where they're at, but always make sure that they're aware. And something that wasn't clear to me and non-intuitive, but so simple. When I met Javi, he'd been 4 months with the business. He had 900 people in his organization. And I said to myself, well, because I was happy. We were talking about never wanting to do network again, not liking companies that say, forget about the products, lead with the opportunity. Here we have a product which we can lead with the product. But as we know, we're offering various kinds of health, and one of them is financial health. I say my financial anxieties are gone. I'm never talking about abundance. I don't like all that kind of language, but I am actually now adding into, if you do this seriously, you're actually creating generational wealth for your family. And that's really very important. And I don't know if any of you saw the Vision 2024 the other night with David Schmidt, but they asked me to do a little video, which I did. And I said, I'm sharing David's vision to get this to 1 billion homes. Why? I'll be delighted with all the money that comes my way, but there's a deeper reason for that, because the emotional health that ripples out when somebody in somebody's family is in a better health, that emotional wave ripples out into the world, and the world needs it. But I'm not going to go too deeply into that stuff. It's my personal belief. Some people think the guy's crazy, or they'll think, yep, I agree with him. But that's my feeling with this. And because the longer you're using the X39, and the more time you spend with people who are using it, people are in a good humor, people are in a good mood. And that ripples out into the world, and the world really does need it. When I talked to David Schmidt, and I said it in the video, I went up to him and I said, I'm George, I'm from London. I was then executive director. And he said, he doesn't know me from Adam. And he said, what's he going to say? He said, thank you for what you do. And I said to him, no, thank you. We need you and the world needs us. This is my basic philosophy here. Okay, I'm going to go back to practical stuff. Finding a business builder is more challenging. So yes, what I was saying, Javi, after 4 months, Javi, you had 900 people, I had 350 people. What's the difference? And he said to me, I was always using an expression which I learned when I did a network company in the mid-2000s, the money is in the deep. As I saw my binary legs growing, for more and more people in it, I could see the money growing. So, you want to have as big a leg on the strong leg and as big a leg as possible on the weak leg. And as they grow, the money comes to you. So, there are people, 280 people or more away from me in that binary, but the money is in the deep. The further away you get it from you, the more money will come to you, the more people you're reaching. So, Javi, 900 people after 4 months. Myself, 350 people after 4 months. And I'd always, Javi, say, I go down into the depth. And I was misunderstanding. The money's in the deep, I go down into the depth. Sounds similar, but there was a difference. And he explained to me, he always looking for people in his organization who are showing signs of being possible leaders. Either they're identifying themselves by their actions, or you are identifying them. For example, I saw a lady one weekend, I'd never seen her name. This name appeared like 5 times over the weekend, and I'm going, wait a minute, who is she? I haven't seen that name before. And I go to find her in my organization, and I can see that she'd invited 5 people, but she'd placed them completely wrongly, and she could have been manager immediately. So I got in touch with her and I said, I'm the person who sponsored the person who sponsored you, and I think you need guidance, because I think you want to do this for what I'm seeing, but you placed your people wrong. We can reorganize it because we have 5 days to move people without any issue. And she said, yes, that's what I want to do. So that was an example of me identifying somebody in my organization who would become a possible leader. Now, I kind of identified myself to Javi by saying, I want to talk to somebody who's been in this business for a while. So going back to 900, him after 4 months, 350 myself. And he said, there's one more thing. I ask people who wants to do this. It's completely obvious, but I wasn't doing that. And it's kind of non-intuitive. It's like, who wants to do this? I was on a call with some people, and there was a woman on the call who said, they told me she took a course in, excuse me, I'm going to have she took a course in network marketing, and she wants to do this. And all I could see on her face was a diagonal line across her forehead. When later on in the call I said, who wants to do this? I put my hand up. Everybody put their hand up except her, which didn't surprise me. So you, on your calls or when you're working with people, actually find out who wants to do this. Don't expect because you've signed them up, they may want to do it, they may not, they may be yes, maybe no. And then it's very important your posture and to develop the attitude. Some will, some won't, so what next? Some will, so what? Some will, some won't, so what next? And when they come in, and some people will give you, I'm going to do this, yes, maybe, let's see, time will tell. Really important to develop that even balanced posture towards everybody and everything. Then another thing, an example of posture, because posture is really important. Another example is I have a friend who's suffering with emphysema, and I didn't know that she had been on an oxygen bottle for 6 months. Her brother told me, and I called her and I said, I think I need to tell you about these patches. And she said, what are they? And I explained, and then she said, okay, I'll try for a month. And I said, you know what? Don't even bother. She said, what do you mean? I said, if you're not going to commit to 3 months, don't bother. You've got a serious situation. The protocol is 3 months. You need to commit for 3 months. And she said, you know what? I trust you. I'll do that. After 7 days, so 7 hours, she says, I'm feeling something. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. After 10 days, she tells me, I gave your phone number to 4 of my friends. She's got no idea there's a business possibility. And after a month, she says to me, I can walk around the block without the oxygen bottle and I'm not on the sofa all day. But if I hadn't had that posture to really make her say, don't even bother. And I know that's very hard in the beginning, but we have something so special, so powerful here, and we have to give it huge. It's too precious for me to give it to you if you don't want it. And kind of develop that attitude. Okay. Mamelo has a question, and I think there's more in the chat, but I'll go back to the chat. Mamelo, maybe unmute, please, to ask your question. And I hope I'm saying your name right. You can unmute your microphone if you want. Okay, we'll try again in a minute. All right. So, Quentin, when I answered that question with all those answers, was that helpful? Okay, good. So, easy to share, but hard for people to register due to money issue. I got that. I will tell you this, there are more than a few people who had money issues who said, I can see this, I want to do it, and they signed in with a starter pack and they went to work. And they invited people in, and one thing and another, they were able to go from bronze to silver to gold, and so on and so forth. One person in particular from that position has now 2.5 times the average South African salary. So this is very, very, very exciting to me. So if people have an issue with money, I understand that. Come in with a starter pack and just start talking, and with the first commissions go to bronze, and so on and so forth. I don't know. Have you any experience with that, Busi? Maybe you can give us a bit of feedback on what I'm saying. Let's see if Busi answers. Is Busi still here? I'm looking to see. Let me hit participants and have that list open as well. Yeah. So maybe if that was useful, Busi, please put something in the chat or come back. Let's try Mamelo again. Otherwise, I'll go to the next question in the chat. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I just want to ask, right, following up from yesterday's Zoom meeting with the X39 and all of that, I just want to know, do we have any side effects on this product?
We don't have any side effects, though there are people, maybe 10% of people, who will have a detox effect.
Okay.
So that can last 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. I haven't heard anybody with anything more. There is a video which I will, at the end of this call, or if somebody has it to hand, place it in the group. Are you in the Team 333 group WhatsApp chat?
Not yet.
Okay. So who invited you?
Mr. Wayne himself.
Wayne, can you put Mamelo into that group, and then once she's in the group, when I see she's in the group, I'll place or somebody else will, but there's a video about detoxing and so on. So it's will happen to a few people. It didn't happen to me. Another thing I would say is people with the use of glutathione, I've heard this quite often, they're getting, because it's helping the body manufacture glutathione, and it's the body's master antioxidant. People have had a kind of metallic taste and metallic smells coming out because it's apparently dealing with the heavy metals in the body. But actual side effects, no. We've only had great effects.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I can tell you stories, wonderful stories from now till midnight.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. George. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mamelo. Did I say your name right?
Yes, that's correct.
No, good.
100%. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I'm going to go back to the chat. So, Pauline, hi, is it possible to do a rough overview to how to sign and commission? I signed up as a silver member. Okay, so thank you for that, Pauline. This is a perfect example of somebody who signed up but is in need of guidance by their upline. So this is the sort of thing that I do with everybody who signs up, first, second, third line, or anybody who's showing I want to do this. So, number one, Pauline, have you watched any of the videos on the commission? There's the commission. Chris has done one called 101 which I've just reposted in the group. Where are you there? Have you, if you can put in the chat, have you seen that video? Have you seen it in the chat? But please put it in this. Oh, and thank you, Ali. Dr. Ali has put the detox reactions. Yes, I will do that, Thea. I remembered that this morning and yesterday, and I will do that. But Pauline, have you watched the Compensation Plan 101 video? And if you could either unmute your microphone, let me say unmute your microphone. It's easier if we talk. Can you do that? Cool.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you watched the Commission 101 Compensation Plan 101 video?
I have watched it, but I'm not too sure how I fit into it. So being the silver, when I bought like 3 packs of X39. So
Right.
now I'm wondering, must I wait 3 months before I buy the next one, or do I buy another 3 pack, or do I buy one
Okay.
pack?
Great questions, and something that does come up. A lot of people think, okay, if I came in as silver, I have to buy a silver pack every month. If I came in as gold, I have to buy a gold pack every month. No. Once you bought a silver pack, you're on the matrix, and your option after a month would be to either upgrade to gold if you choose to, or purchase a single pack or as many packs as you like. I would always recommend, if you're happy, upgrade to gold, because that you need gold to be able to go through the ranks, manager, director, and so on and so forth. So to go back to your question, really, we want to never lose our points, and to never lose our points, because it's our points that give us money. To never lose our points, we want to remain active always. Until one is manager, 1 sleeve a month will keep you active, whether it's Aon at 55 points or X39 or X49 at 77 points. That will keep you active. Once you're manager, or one of the qualifications to be manager, and I'm going to give you the other qualifications as well. So to become manager, you need to be on a gold pack, which is why at the end of your first month, it's a very good idea to upgrade to gold. And then that's one of the qualifications you need to be a manager. The other qualification, which by upgrading to gold you'll have, is at least 110 points. From the manager position and above, all the other positions, you need to have at least 110 points every month. Unlike other companies, they don't ask you every rank you go up to purchase ever greater amounts of the product. All the way through, it's 110 points. So that's 1 X39 and 1 other of the packs, for example, or an X39 and an X49. So those are 2 of the qualifications to become manager. And the other one is you need to have, if you watched the Compensation Plan 101, you are probably aware of we have 2 legs. It's a binary system. We have a left leg and a right leg, one which will be stronger than the other. Yeah?
Yeah. Can you explain why that is?
Okay. Why that is? Well, when we even our own legs tend to have one a little bit longer than the other. But and why is one longer than the other? In my case, I came in on the right leg of somebody who came in on the right leg of somebody, and the person above them they were on the right leg of that person above. So I came in, and the first 2 people who landed in my right leg were not from me. They came from people above. Yeah. So then I started inviting people who invited people who invited people, and then more people came in to that leg invited by the people above me. So let's say on that leg there's now, I don't know, 2,900 people, and about 400 of those people on that leg are the descendants of people who came in from the people above me in that leg. So that's why that leg is stronger. Then it happens that on that leg, I have 2 or 3 people who ran with it right from the beginning, and on my other leg, I have very committed people, but it's been harder for them mostly, and probably because I said I'll put all my Spanish people on my Spanish leg, and there's less information in Spanish, less content to use, so we've had to develop a lot of it ourselves. So, but my logic was I'm going to put all of my Spanish people on one leg because they all speak the same language and they can work together, and I put all my English speakers on the other leg. But that's why in my case one leg is stronger than the other. Everybody looking at their legs as time goes by will know why one is stronger or one is weaker than the other. Yeah.
So when you sign someone up, should you go and have a look at your legs to see which needs more people?
Look, yes and no. Yes and no. Let's say you sign up a friend of yours, and you would actually, from your point of view, it might be better for them to be on a certain leg. Let's say for this conversation on your weaker leg. But in actual fact, they're good friends with 3 people who are on your strong leg. So I would, in my case, put them on my strong leg because they can all work together and generate energy together. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Okay. But I wouldn't want to have somebody who's close friends with somebody on my right leg and leave them on my left leg, because those 2 people are going to find it much harder to work together, when working together may be much more beneficial for you, for them, and for everybody else on that leg. So go back to, there's another thing. So once your strong leg is consolidated, my idea right at the beginning was to have 6 managers on each leg. And that's what I went for. And in that process, my strong leg was consolidated in the sense that I have committed people on that leg, and I don't really need more people on that leg for the moment. So everybody else who's coming in goes onto my weak leg, because that's the leg I want to build, not only for myself, but for everybody else on that leg. Because let's say, people come in, and maybe, there's a couple who from Madrid who came in, and they said, oh, we've seen this other thing, we want to do this. Okay. And now they can see, I can check, but they've got something like 150 people below them, and they like, how did that happen? Because everybody else was doing stuff while you were doing something else. So they're going, this is really interesting, it's working. There's another thing. People will look at you. There's so many things that take people's attention. There's so many things that people can do, and there's so many things that don't work. So, people will go, yeah, that's interesting, but he's done other stuff before, and she's done other stuff before, and we don't believe. And then they see you 6 months later and a year later, and then they, one woman who's a very doubtful person, she's always given doubt and rather negative. She phones me every 3 or 4 months. How's that thing you're doing? And I'm going, great. And she says, you're always in a good mood. I said, yeah, I am. This is fabulous. And you should be doing this. I can help you. She's always got money problems. She's always got, I don't suppose it'll ever happen, but she wants to keep a tab on me. You never know. So people will watch you as time goes by. And then, Chris told me the other day, somebody joined in with him and said, I've been watching you for 6 months. I should have joined with you 6 months ago. It is what it is. People are what they are. I always use the expression, there's noughts so queer as folk, which is from Yorkshire. In England, there's nothing so strange as people. The good thing about this business is we're working with people. The bad thing about this business is we're working with people. people will surprise you all the time, and you just got to learn to not, sometimes one might be irritated. One must learn not to be irritated and to keep being helpful and sometimes being firm. Yep.
Sorry, would it be fair to say that your strong leg at some point could change to the weaker leg becomes a strong leg?
It can. In my case, I doubt it'll happen because it's an 80-20 thing. My weak leg is 20% of my strong leg. And I looked at Javi's, he showed me his a while ago, and it was the same, 20%. I have seen somebody who's pretty successful that their legs are pretty close. And for some reason, which I personally don't understand, Javi said, you really don't want the legs to switch. But I don't understand why, so I can't really give you an answer on that one. I don't have the experience of anybody's legs switching so that I could observe it and give you any intelligent commentary. So going back to Pauline, somebody posted another explanation of the compensation plan. I think, I tell people, don't try and understand it all at the beginning. I'm somebody who likes to figure out how things work. And at the beginning, I thought, okay, I figured it out. And then didn't do what I thought it was going to do. And then I'd call support in Ireland and say, what's going on? Why? And they explained it to me, that particular bit. And then again, something else didn't do what I thought it would do. So, and then little by little, I understood it, I think, in depth over about 3 months. Don't try and figure it all out at the beginning. The thing is, just if this resonates with you, go for it, share it, and you'll watch what happens. That said, there are more than one explanation of the compensation plan, and I do tend to give more than one to people. Some people can listen to, for example, Steve and Gina, who leader of our team, the This Is It team, talking, but other people, especially non-Americans, go, it's very American. They're very American. They're very intense. So, Chris's careful explanation of the compensation plan, he calls it Compensation Plan 101, is very good. But I always recommend people watch more than one, because don't just listen to me, listen to as many people as you can, because that's what helps to give context and helps to give patina and so on. I have my view, my thoughts, my way of doing it. I could say, Chris and I, we both have softened, let's say, the way the Americans are presenting, because I know the Europeans and Chris knows you guys South Africans are like, it's so American, they're so American. So listen to more than one person, but none of that takes away from the fact that this is such a powerful story there with David Schmidt and his inventions, and X39 and the other products with the results they're having, and a very powerful compensation plan that gives 60% back to the brand partners. All I can say is, thank you, Lord, thank you, David Schmidt, because it's actually put my life back together, because COVID killed. I had 3 projects, and 2 of them were killed by COVID, and 1 cost a fortune. And anyways. So I hope that's been helpful, Pauline.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm just starting slowly, because I've only been using the patches for 5 days, and I kind of want to experience them myself before I start, telling people. So I've got 2 friends who are using the other 2 patches, and I'm chatting to them about it. Yeah.
Great. Look, I said exactly the same. I got to try with myself, as most people do. And the first thing I noticed, I grind my coffee every morning. It used to be 220 turns, now it's 260. And I used to have to stop every 80 turns to recover my muscle. And after 3 days, I was like, I just did I just did all the turns without noticing it. So that was the first thing I noticed, which was great. And then I recommended to a friend of mine who has severe tinnitus, never sleeping more than 3-4 hours a day. In 2 hours and 20 minutes, it dropped 50%. And he slept 7 hours. And he says, I haven't slept 7 hours in 40 years. So that gave me, you see, because what I said right at the beginning, and you may be in this, you've heard stories from other people, and you go, okay, I'll believe those people. But I want to see it myself, and I want to see it in a couple of friends. Because that gives more credibility to the stories you're hearing from other people, from on the group, from myself. Pictures also speak. But for me, that was very, very important because it gave more credibility. But I'm going to say one thing. The person I referred to, who's actually Sandy Feist, who's in the group, who came in with the starter pack, and is now director on the way to senior director, and with Diamond, COVID killed their business. She said, you know what? I believe George, I believe Chris, I believe Javi, I'm just going to do this. And in her case, she didn't notice anything for 11 and a half weeks in her body. But but she just went for it. I was on a call with some of her people who said to her, you know, thanks for not waiting, because one woman said, my mother's situation has changed dramatically, and we all have a business we're working on. So I understand and I agree, but also you as soon as you know something, you can begin if you care to. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
You're welcome. So we got Francoise next in the chat. I'm going through the chat in order. I think Mamelo, I'm going to drop your hand because I'm going to lower hand because otherwise I get confused. So Francoise, great to be here. Brand new from SA. Appreciate all the guidance. Okay, so the InTouch app. I'm a bit old school. I just talk to people. So I have the app, but I've never used it. I know people who use it regularly. So you have to find out the way, if you find it's useful for you, use it. If you don't find it's useful, don't use it. I have people in the team who have their way. Each person, I'm a talker. I talk with people all day long. So, I'm in America. Every Uber driver had my card. I'm in conversation with one of them. Where was I yesterday? With some people. And look, I heard Steve say to a guy, multimillionaire, and I've used this a lot, and I used it today on a call with somebody. You're not looking, he said to this guy, he said, I don't think you're looking for a new business opportunity. He said, but why would you leave your stem cells dormant for less than $5 a day? And the guy went, yeah, absolutely. So, I have somebody who finds all the people that he finds using Instagram. I don't use Instagram. I barely use social media. I barely go to Facebook. I mean, we have the Dream Team, we have the This Is It team, but if I go on Facebook, it's like once every 3 weeks. If I never go to Telegram, if I can possibly avoid it. So we all find our way. If the InTouch app works for you, use it. If it's not for you, don't. That's kind of my best thing that I would say. Bridget raised her hand and dropped it. So if Brigitte, you wanted to say something, you raise your hand again. Yeah, Vision 2024 was awesome. I loved it. So I'm going to go to Brigitte and then back into the chat because I do like to talk and hear a voice. So please please unmute your microphone, please. I'm hitting the please ask to unmute button. You can open your mic. Okay, Brigitte's mic is not happening for the moment. I'm going to go to Sandy and then come back to you, Brigitte. Can you open your mic, Sandy, please? Okay.
Thank you
Hello.
so much. Thank you so much for this evening. I have a question about how to handle all of the correspondence coming through your phone continuously 24 hours a day. And what I'm finding is that people who I've introduced and on my downline are introducing people, they're brand new, so they're also introducing people, but then looping me into a little group with those people where they can ask me questions, and I just cannot cope with all of the messages and correspondence. Daily there are just countless WhatsApp messages and emails and correspondence, and I don't know how to get to all of them. I almost feel like I need 2 PAs immediately with all the correspondence. How does everyone deal with that?
Okay, that's a great question that nobody ever asked me yet. How do I do it? I'm pretty, because this is what I'm doing, because this is for me, I've got life, I've got the house to deal with, life like anybody else. I've got a charter boat which works in the summer, and you know that takes time and so on. But basically, I respond pretty quickly, but then again, I don't know. This might seem a little bit. Certain people, they don't take care of their own selves, so they turn to you time and time and time again. So I kind of point them to what they need to be doing rather than doing it for them.
Okay.
Now, I don't know the nature of the messages that people are asking, but if people are excited, I'm always going to, you know, help them to be successful and give them the knowledge they need. And if I don't have it, but I also do tell people, look, you don't need to ask me every single question. We've got the groups for that. You know, I got a Spanish group, and now the Spanish people, they've broken down. There's a group of Mexican people, there's a group of Spanish people, there's people making their own groups, and I'm on many of them, and I'm seeing what's going on without kind of involving myself. I'm just scan through and see. But you know, many people, and I think I said that twice today to people. I think you know that question I can answer you, but it's probably better if you ask in the group, because you're going to get more answers. So that's one thing I do. And I mean, another thing, I have all the groups. The default is not to save images or videos, because otherwise my phone fills up with images that I really don't want to have on the phone. And another thing is, I have my phone on silent a lot, so I don't get the ding, 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 ding that a WhatsApp message will do. But I'm delighted to tell you the truth. I'm delighted when there's life, because I want to grow this to be huge. And so if there's life, there's something going on. So that's another part to it. I'm just going to look at my WhatsApp now and just get a. So many of the messages are on the groups. There's one message from somebody who's at the beginning who asked me 3 or 4 questions a day. I answer her very quickly, because for example, this lady's a salesperson. She's been a salesperson for insurance and a publishing house all her life. She knows how to sell, but we're not really selling here. Yes, we're selling, but we're not. We're sharing something. And, you know, I'll just say this in passing. I was at dinner with some high-end Madrid friends, and they said, so you're trying to sell us something? I said, I'm not selling you anything. I'm sharing something which you can take advantage of if you care to. You know, there's my posture. And if you actually buy, you're going to be buying from LifeWave, not from me. So, you will have to actually decide each one of those conversations if it's worth it for you to interact with them. I don't know what you're doing with the rest of the time when you're not on these calls or doing LifeWave, but you kind of are going to have to decide: is it worth it to me to to guide these people, to help these people, or isn't it? And you will get better as time goes by at discerning who to give energy to and who to not. This is kind of how I see it.
Thank you so much, George. That's very helpful. And
Good.
yeah, I think I'm just getting used to sort of the flow of questions and the type of questions. But I think that it will settle down as everybody settles into LifeWave. Initially, there's lots of different kinds of questions about,
but also tell them you get them on the 333 group, and there's a lot of people who are answering, and they'll see. I mean,
Great. Okay,
I'm actually going to be a bit forward and ask Ali if you've got an answer for that to share. Do you, Ali?
Sorry, which of the many questions was that? I was just answering that.
Shame, I've taken up so much time. It was just a question around how you handle the volume of queries on your phone, both from
So I've answered that partly in the chat. Definitely turn off notifications. Point people always to the shared resources. So point people repeatedly back to thisisit.info.com.
Okay.
thisisit.team.com if they're building the WhatsApp group, so 333. If they ask a question in 333, then if you happen to be away from your desk, somebody else will answer. So it's really important for them to not feel that you're the only person. And especially for me as a doctor, I've got very strict boundaries. When they ask me medical questions, I got a text I send out to them, because I am building my own businesses, in plural, and I can't be answering people one-on-one medical questions. I can't give medical advice online like this anyway, but I don't have time. I charge for that sort of thing. So people can book an appointment if they want that. So it's very important to have your boundaries set up, as you're building. And you're teaching people to be resourceful, because if you give them the answers all the time, then their downline will come to you for answers as well, because you're not teaching your new associates to look for the results themselves. They've got the Telegram group, which is fantastic for testimonials. There's lots of different YouTube things. Caution with sharing links to YouTube and Facebook with them. Teach them to check that it hasn't got somebody else's LifeWave business link in the footer or explanation, because otherwise your prospect may end up joining their team instead of yours, and you don't want that. So teach them that's very important as well. I hope that helps. I'm about to start building my YouTube channel, which is going to be a bit like Dr. Stacey's. So I will have resources there. I've got 2 YouTube channels. I'm just going to start building them. One's on health and one's on business building.
That'll be great. Thanks so much, Dr. Ali. Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Welcome. So thank you, Ali. So we have a question here from Lorraine. I'd love a practical guide how to build this business steadily. How many people to reach out to per day, per week? Should we focus first on friends, family, cold calls? I never do cold calls. I sometimes tell somebody, I feel I need to tell you about this. Friends and family, I don't have a single person in my family in my LifeWave. They may well come one day. Who knows? I reached out to a cousin of mine, and I'm her favorite cousin, and she loves me. She's got muscular dystrophy. And I said, I feel I should tell you about this. And this was after about 10 months with LifeWave. I feel I should tell you about this. And then she was telling me in the conversation how, her capital is disappearing and how much she's spending to look after herself, and so on and so forth. And I said, I sent her some testimonials of people with muscular dystrophy, and I called her a couple of weeks later because I didn't hear anything from her. She didn't go, wow, tell me more. She said, well, I'm not sure if it's going to work. And I go, oh, okay. I didn't say any more. I come to the conclusion that some people are married to their situation. I have no real answer as to why somebody wouldn't say, if you saw 3 or 4 testimonials of people who've had a great result with what you've got, and you say, and it costs you $100 a month when you're spending thousands every month on yourself, I just don't have an answer. So you may find that your family are interested, and there are families who actually all of them have worked together and they've changed the family's money life completely. Like I said, no cold calls, and I don't give people information until I've had a conversation with them. And I meet people all day long, every day, new people. You bump into people, you talk to people, and some people you say, you know what, I think I should tell you about this. You know, Uber drivers are great because they're all working like crazy and to make some extra money or to live. Some listen, some don't. And like I said, I'm in a conversation with one. I have a card, and on my card, I don't take people's numbers. I may start taking people's numbers, but I'm still thinking about that. I give them a card it's got a very, very simple website on it, with a little video by me, and to get more information, it links to this is the info, and then how to contact me, and that's on my card, and my WhatsApp's on my card, and I give that out, and I see what happens. Some people come back to you, and some people don't, but it's a very easy way to not give yourself a lot of stress. A 2-minute conversation. You don't need more than a 2-minute conversation with a lot of people. I've told this one before, but let me say this. You know, there's a bar by the sea where I like to go, and I went for a very late breakfast one Sunday, and it was in October, and the owner of the bar's there, and he's looking out to sea, and I said to him, "So how was the season?" And he said, "No, it was good. It was hard, but it was good, but hard, but." And I said, "Yeah, but busy." And I said, "Yeah, I've been busy. Busy was the word. I've been busy. I just got back from America. I'm working with something new." He says, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "You see this patch here on the neck?" He said, "Yeah, what's that?" I said, "Bionano crystals that reactivate my stem cells." He says, "What? Tell me more." You know, it piqued his interest. He says, "Tell me more." I said, "Well, you know, it's number one, amongst other things, I've had results with people with tinnitus, migraine, and I gave a list of things. Didn't make any impression on him, and I said it's also helped me. You know, my financial anxieties have disappeared. That didn't make any echo. And then I said, and we've also had great results with people with Parkinson's. He said, "Parkinson's? My mum's got Parkinson's. I want to know much more." You know, that was a conversation of 1.5 minutes. And that's when he says, "Send me information." So I always want to try and get somebody to say, "Send me information." Yep. I mean, I would like to know more. I'll never send people stuff out of the blue. But then again, you know, cold calls to people I don't know, why would they listen to you? People are being bombarded daily with, you know, people trying to sell them stuff. The phone rings. You know, we want to sell you everything from solar panels to lottery tickets to insurance to you know, donations to charity. And it's like when the phone rings, your home phone, you know, it's like, leave me alone. People don't want cold calls. So I would just say, yeah, and this is very important. The This Is It team was part of another team called Quantum Field, and the person who sort of initiated that team is called Onyx Cole, and one of the things she said, which was very important, when it gets from your head to your heart, and that's really when it's in your heart, nobody can tell you. I'm just going to stop this noise. That's telling me I got a Zoom call, but it's on summertime. The computer, Zoom didn't understand about summertime, wintertime. But anyways, Chris says, sign up one business builder a month. Look, you may be lucky enough to have one business builder a month. You may have 10 business builders in a month. You may not have any. But what he was doing with that was just trying to illustrate to what happens if you only sign up one business builder a month. not only sign. He wasn't saying only sign up one business builder a month. Yeah. So Lorraine, I see you nodding your head. Has this been helpful? You can unmute if you like, please.
Yes, it's been helpful, definitely, because we've tried to sell to cousins and family, and yeah, you know, very mixed results, and I can't stand the idea of cold calling, so I'm glad that that's not a good option. But I
Look.
really liked your idea about a business card. That's really nice.
Don't over tell people stuff. All your family will watch you. You know, they may have seen you do different things in life, and they're like, oh, they're onto something new, and they're all like, so you forget about them for the moment and watch and reach out in as many ways you can without kind of, and I don't like this expression particularly, but without vomiting on people.
Right.
and
Too much info.
yeah, and like I said, I do a lot of very short conversations. It saves my energy.
Oh.
You know, those conversations, I tickle people and I want to see if there's a reaction. If there's no reaction, or if I see after 30 seconds their eyes are glazing over, you know, I'm not going to go further. You know,
See,
as much
that's helpful actually. That's very useful to think of it like that. Like go for short conversations and assess, always be reading them, right?
I have, I'm going to say this. When I worked with the network marketing company that I worked with in the mid-2000s, and they said, forget about the products, lead with the opportunity. And I didn't like that. But I also was like, my partner at the time, she said to me, why are you so exhausted these days? And I said, you know what? I think it's because with my warehouse, I would close the door of the warehouse on Friday at 5 o'clock and not go until Monday at 10 o'clock and live my life and do boating and things that we do. But now I'm working with people, first line, second line, third line, fifth line, seventh line. And it was a very different kind of structure, not this binary, which doesn't seem to have that. And I would be, the people I'm working with, I'm helping people build their structure, but they're 7 degrees away from me and they're nothing to do with me, kind of exhausting me. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And I was probably at that time also not, I was not sticking to what I do now, which is 90 seconds. If somebody says to me, tell me more, I want to talk about it, I'll stay with you all night if I need to. But, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, some people you'd really want to take them and go, listen to what I'm telling you. You need to listen to it. But those people, they're like, not going to do it. It's fine too.
That's great. Yeah. I saw somebody just flashed a question now about whether we're allowed to use the LifeWave logo on a business card that we create.
I have it on my business card. Let me see. I don't actually have one down. Yeah, I do. Hang on.
Okay. Just picture on.
I made a very simple one, which I actually gave to Chris, but he can. I'm going to switch this off to blur. Switch off blur. Is blur off? No, I need to switch blur off. So I put this on one side, you know, the benefits of X39, and on the other side, very, very simple. I had the logo X39, my name, a website, email, and phone number.
Oh, that's nice. It's nice and simple.
Yeah, I like simple. I mean, I can. Chris has a copy of it, and I can put it.
Flash that again for us, George, so we can catch a snapshot of it, and then you can.
Yeah. Okay. I'll actually put it on the group as a PDF, so you can pick it up. Hang on, Harry. Hang on.
There's something in the back office that can do the business card.
Yeah, I don't like those. I'm just showing mine, but thank you. I've looked at their business cards that they're offering. I don't like them for what I'm doing. But like I said, everybody finds their own way, or their own way. So let's go to the next question. And Dr. Ali put the Onyx talking about the detox, so you guys can take it there. I will, after this call, give you that link. Helen put in a couple of, I think one is Compensation Plan 101, it says, but I'm not sure what the other one is, Helen. Maybe you can tell us what the other link is.
George, it's the same. Sorry, it's the same. It was just I didn't.
Okay. So
it repeated.
thank you.
And I was trying to copy the book that we have. It's just too big. I can't put it on here, but I'll add it in on the group chat again. The link regarding the detox, because David does speak in the beginning about that you can get dry mouth, fatigue, runny nose, headaches, minor rash, sleepiness, acne, nausea, change in bowel, but only for a few days, just like a normal detox. And then everyone's back to, their body just regulates again. So it's very interesting. I'm sorry it was too big to post, but I'll.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going through the other messages. Bussy leg cramps, don't know there. So Dr. Ali gave you an answer, Dr. Olufemi. Hey, so we're going to meet. So there's a thing that I'm going to say just now on the way. The last time I saw Ali was, 10 years ago or something? But we do know each other in person. I've never met Dr. Olufemi in person. So we're going to de-virtualize at the event in London. And it's very important, as much as possible, when one doesn't know people, but one's interacting with people regularly, to de-virtualize. A friend of mine invented that word, which I love. I was at an event in London and they said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm George from Mallorca." And the guy next to me said, "I've heard you on lots of calls." And so we de-virtualized and got friends. So, okay. So Bussy, you've had some answers, good answers there. And I'm just going through the chat, and in a second, Magda, I'll ask you. Yeah, so this is true. Turn off sounds in WhatsApp and Facebook Manager so you're not bleeped all the time. Yep, teach people to be resourceful. And if you're not aware of the toolbox, for the people who are new here, maybe somebody can repost it into the group right now. It looks like Helen's going to do that. Thank you. Look, Pauline, you say a bit overwhelmed. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Step by step, Ali said to you, and really don't. It's a process. You heard me say that at the beginning of the call. It's a process. So you will, little by little, as you do, get it. It really is a process. So keep going. And again, Lorraine says, step by step. This is it, team. No, you are part of the This Is It team, though there is a This Is It team page on Facebook, which you can all join. And there is a QR code to, I'm lousy with social media, so don't ask me about it. I'm very rarely on, I'm in that group, but it's like, I'm not the person to ask, but somebody, either you have to go and find it on Facebook, or I know that there is a QR code. Yeah. This Is It team. Why did they call it This Is It? Because Steve and Gina, who are behind this team, they made very many millions in network with a company that kind of fell apart. It was sold on, and then the leadership changed and it fell apart. And they were looking for something that they could actually get behind, but they were looking for something that they describe as a hero product. X39 is a hero product. The person who gave it to them, Steve, was a water ski champion, and he'd had many operations. And the X39, he's 60, and the X39 had a massive effect with him. And then they interviewed David Schmidt several times, and then they decided to get behind LifeWave. And the This Is It team is the fastest growing team in LifeWave and is pretty much responsible for the huge growth that's taking place. It's not only the This Is It team, but it's huge part of it. So, I live on a house on a mountain with a view of the sea, and I write and I live in an island, and my thing in the beginning, and still is, I'm not trying to work with anybody around here. Because I've worked with people all over the world. My village is a worldwide village, but little by little, people I know here who I haven't actually made any effort towards have come to me and said, wow, you're looking great. What are you doing? Then I'm beginning to have some people here where I live, but each person, it's different. Okay, Sandra. Oh, thank you so much. Sandra, thank you for those kind words. Family is the most skeptical. Look, I have a cousin, another cousin, and he's now got a prostate issue. I sent him several things on prostate. He may not, and he's very happy for me and the change, but he doesn't see it as personally. Yeah, Ali's right. When this is in your heart and soul. And she's put this. This is it. Team teaches to talk to 6 people per day, if possible. 333 represents tell or patch 3, follow up with 3, and get 3 on a Zoom call. Actually, for Chris, he chose that name for the team 333, but he'll have to explain it to you guys one day. You should ask him in the group, somebody. Thank you, Ali, for your kind words there too. I'm going to ask, I'm just going to ask you to unmute Olufemi, if I may. We're going to meet in person on Friday the 10th, Saturday the 10th of February in London. And I'm very happy that we're going to de-virtualize meet in person. So I'm actually going to reach out to you one of these days to talk about, because I've asked Dr. Olufemi and Dr. Ali to speak briefly. I've got half an hour, and they've said I can, I'm in charge of my half hour. So I'm going to ask you two guys to say something briefly. I remember very much when you said about your lifetime work as with people as a doctor, that this is been for you the missing piece you've been looking for forever. If you want to say something about that now, I'd love to hear it again, and I definitely want to hear it on Saturday when we meet.
Thank you very much, George. It's been a wonderful experience being a doctor. I've been one for over 40 odd years. But there's one thing that I've noticed about the human body, and it's a fantastic piece of equipment. But what it does is that it says, give me, and I will do. As doctors, we try to tell the body what to do. What the body wants is for you to give it the tools so it can do the job. And essentially, why this is the missing piece I seem to have been looking for is the fact that over the last 25 years, I have told patients, look, your body knows what to do. Let your body do what it wants to do. Each symptom that you have, whether it's a headache, a backache, or pain in the ear, whatever, is the body sending you a signal that something is going wrong. The only way you can find it is do a blood test and find out what the missing piece is. And that's what I've been doing the last 25 years. When you find that, and you then give the body what it wants, the symptom goes away. What the X39 and the other parties have managed to do is to sort of bridge that gap. And I think what struck me the most is this last couple of things that David is bringing on, the supplements that will then support the patches, because it actually then becomes the layer I need to fly on. Because what I have been doing is getting those nutrients that are missing, which will be in the supplements, giving those first, because when the X39 starts to work, what it's doing is it's triggering something in your blood to tell your stem cells to work. The stem cells start a whole new building process. And for those building processes, you need the nutrients, you need the tools, you need the bricks for the body to lay down to repair. I mean, let's say you have a heart attack. Some of the heart cells are dead. The stem cells get there and they take out the dead cell and they replace the dead cell with themselves, and they become the heart cell. To be able to do that, you need a lot of tools, a lot of raw materials. Those raw materials are missing. That is why some people are not getting the sort of results they expected immediately. And we will need to build more on that. But it's, I mean, you said it's got to go from your head to your heart. How it got to my heart is, I gave a patch to my grandson. Overnight, he had severe eczema patches on his arms. They reduced by 50%.
Wow.
And as a doctor, and I know this, I can't preach this too much. He had a pustule on his chest, like a small boil. It's still soft and like there's a fluid in it. It dried up overnight.
Wow.
Now, there is nothing anybody else can tell me about what the parties can or cannot do better than what I have seen myself in my grandson. And he's neurodivergent, he's ADHD, he's become so calm and so more malleable that it's impossible. And I have stories of about 10, 20, 30 different patients that I have brought through this. And I hope I'll be able to have enough time to talk about some of them on Saturday. God bless you, George.
Yeah, you too, sir. Thank you, thank you. We got two questions. Sandy and Magda. Magda had a hand up first, so I'll go to you first, and then Sandy. Magda, please unmute your microphone. Magda, here you are. Hello.
Hello, George. I would like to know, as a silver, or as a manager, if I buy patches, my 110 points during the month, and during that same month, I buy some more patches, does it count towards the next month that I have to get again 110 points or not?
That's a very good question. So when it comes, look, let's say you bought 110 points on the 1st of the month, and then 110 points on the 15th of the month. Yeah?
Yes.
So that's one scenario. So then your 110 points would be valid till the 15th of the next month.
Okay.
They would overrun with the expiry of the 110 points from the 1st of the month. Okay? Then there's another twist to it. Let's say you ordered 300 points worth of products on the 1st of the month. Yeah? You only need 110 points of product. Those 300 points, so you need 110 points, so there's 190 points over what you needed. Correct?
Yes.
If you're following me. So you ordered, let's go through that again. You ordered on the 1st of the month, 300 points worth of product. Okay?
Yes, okay.
So you only need 110 to qualify for that month.
Yes.
So the 190 over the 110, they will at the end of the month go to your weak leg. So the points that you ordered over 110 continue to benefit you in the sense that they go to your weak leg and help to get you a cycle bonus. Which when I saw that, I thought that's incredibly fair of the company to do that. I hope I didn't lose you with that.
Yes, thanks so much.
And about the other one, where I don't actually know exactly. You ordered, let's say, 110 points on the 1st of the month and 110 points on the 15th of the month. So for 15 days of the month, you have more than 110 points. I don't know. I don't think any of those points would go to your weak leg. It just would extend the time of your subscription.
Oh, wonderful. That's good news. Thanks so much, George. Appreciate.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And then we got Sandy. I'm going to drop your hand to not get confused. Where is it? Lower
Hi
hand.
again, George. Thank you so
Hi.
much.
Hi there.
Hi there. My question is, if we have somebody wanting product in Dubai, and LifeWave is not in Dubai as yet,
That is in Dubai.
Oh, it is. So they can order direct. We can join them, but they
Yeah,
would then
but there's something you need to do when you're doing that. You need to switch the store to the UAE.
Okay.
So when you're signing up somebody in a different country, and I've made this mistake and gone through the whole, you've jumped somewhere else on the screen.
Okay.
I've gone through the whole sign up process.
Yes.
And then haven't been able to do it because I haven't changed the country. So before you do anything, when it's in another country, change the country. Why? For two reasons. Because you can't change the country at the end. You have the address, the city, the postcode. The country's already defined. But there's another reason, more important, is that not every product is available in every country.
Okay.
So by changing the
That's going
country,
to
you'll
happen.
see what's available in that country.
Perfect. I'll find out where we change the country, George, but I'm assuming it's
No,
rather
it's very
simple.
simple. You've got the flag on the top left.
Yes. Sorry, I think you've frozen, George. Okay.
Hello.
Flag on the top left.
Click on the flag.
Yes.
A light box will open with a drop down, and you click on that, and you can see all the countries. So one of the things I tell people to do, and this may be useful, I tell people to go through the list of countries, and it might inspire them to remember somebody who's in one of those countries, somebody they haven't thought of. Another thing I tell people to do is go back through your WhatsApp 5 years, 10 years, or your Messenger, and you'll bump into people in that thread who you haven't thought of and you wouldn't have thought of. So yeah, I can see that.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful, George.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad we are in Dubai. That's good news. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can see that our Javi Solis, who's my active working upline, has joined the call. Some of you know him, some of you don't, but I'm going to ask him to unmute. And if you haven't met him, Javi, do give us your face and come and meet. Hello. Hey, Javi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, great. I think we've had a good call. I've been sharing thoughts, context, patina, experience, a couple of pushes, and yeah, we and super happy to see you guys. If you guys haven't met Javi, I talked about him earlier on the call. He was the first person I talked to when I said I want to know more and I want to talk to somebody who's been on this call. Javi's son, and this is one of the first stories I heard. He's autistic. They were told he'd need to be in institution for life, and they said no way. And they tried everything, and even went twice to Mexico to pay a fortune for stem cell shots, which didn't do much. And a buddy of his sent him some patches. Didn't know they'd been to Mexico. Said, try these patches on your boy. And they said, well, what's patches at $100 a month going to do? The money we spent on the stem cells didn't do much. But Olga, his wife, said, the worst thing we can do is nothing. And they put the patches on Alex. I've stayed with them, and from the kitchen, you can't quite see the garden, but they suddenly saw Alex appearing on the swing, and disappearing. And they went, wait a minute, the other two boys are still upstairs. Who's pushing him? And they go to the window, and he's by himself on the swing. And he'd never been able to do that. And 2 weeks later, he goes and points at the static bike. And if Javi gives me permission, I can put the videos on the group. He points at the static bike, and he's riding the bicycle. He'd never been able to do that. He's now got a bicycle with stabilizers in the park, and he's now saying single words like pizza. And I was with him when he was going, pizza, pizza. He can brush his teeth, do his shoelaces up, and the emotional life of the family changed completely. Because we always talk, Javi, and I repeat this often, but Javi is the one who said it to me first. We're helping people with their physical life, physical health, emotional health. And when earlier in the call, I said, one of the reasons I want to help David get this into 1 billion homes is because the emotional health rippling out from 1 billion homes will help the world. Spiritual health, that's a little harder to understand. But when I see, thank you, Dr. O, when I see and hear the stories that come every day, there are stories that just give me goosebumps. And I just say, thank you, Lord. And thank you, David Schmidt. And it was, something that, and I thank you to Beverly, who pointed it to me. And I was like, I'm not interested. First thing, not interested. Stem cells made of aborted fetuses, stolen placenta, other species. Sounds barbaric. Not interested. So then, and the other one is financial health. And a lot of people, they resist financial health. I don't know why, but you know what? Send me all the clean money you want. I'm going to go, thank you, Lord. That's really interesting. So that's when I met Javi, and it's been an amazing story. So Javi, I've told part of your story, but I'm gonna.
Well, I'm going to talk real quick because I have to get Alex off the bus. But what George is saying, is right. The Zoom before this one, we were actually talking about financial health. And a lot of people feel that they're not worthy or deserving of financial health because of the way people think. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. And when we help people in a physical, emotional, spiritual, and a financial way, it's true. Okay, physical and emotional, this is what we're doing right here. Okay, personal development. Your business is never going to outgrow your level of leadership. You're here in your life and you want to go here. What much is given, much is required. You have something in between here has to change to get to here. So I talk about my process constantly. When I first got into this type of profession 16 years ago, I was very ghettofied. I was not knowledgeable about this business, didn't think I deserved about success. But what made me different was the exposure, was people made me thirsty enough to want to drink and wanted to know more about this profession and the people who I'm surrounded with. And the more I saw, the more I fell in love with. And when I came in here, I heard the doctor say going from your head to your heart, which is true. When LifeWay goes from your head to your heart, it changes everything. You become purpose-driven as opposed to ego-driven, okay? It's just that simple. I asked for this problem to get resolved in my life. I asked for a solution for Alex, but I asked for that years ago, okay? We went for stem cell injection, hyperbaric chamber, all holistic stuff. Didn't work. But this patch gave a reboot to my son that he's able to do things that he was never able to do before, which gave me the sense that God said, I'm blessing you. Now you have to start blessing other people. It's the reason why Lifeway went from head to my heart, because I'm obedient. And I said, you know what? If you bless me, it's my duty to bless other people. The reason why I'm so purpose-driven, the reason why this team has been growing so exponentially is because they're helping people get from where they are to where they want to be. When George goes on this call and he feeds you, the one thing that I have over everybody here is experience. But the one thing that you have over me is experience. And we're going to learn from each other. I've learned stuff from George. Okay, believe it or not, I've heard stuff from Beverly. I've learned from Beverly. I've learned from Helen, things that they say that I incorporate into my life and incorporate into my business. We are on the eve of playing field here because why? I want my leadership lid to increase more than what it is every single day. So I want you to ask yourself this simple question right now, real quick. There's no right or wrong answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, what level of leadership you think you are? Whether it's a 3, whether it's a 4, whether it's a 5, there's no right and wrong answer. If you say you're a 5, a level 5 leadership, that means your business is at a level 4. And if you want your business to increase above that 5 is the cap, is the leadership lid, as they call it, okay? And the reason why your business grows because your leadership grows. Your business will never outgrow your level of leadership. I remember that conversation that I met with George, and I said, George, just do this and this and this the way I'm showing you and the way it was shown to me. I promise you everything is going to come to pass. A year later, he ended up a senior presidential director, highest enrolled in Europe on the advisory board. I can continue on and on and on and on. And it's not to give him the accolades as to what he was able to work for and to achieve because he had the desire to do it. He goes, Javi, if you can do it, so can I. At that time when I met him, I was just a director, I think, or I was just about to hit executive or senior director. I don't even remember. And George said in my face, well, if you can do this, so can I. I said, great, let's do it together. And we've done that ever since. And we're growing a massive business of amazing leaders who are on this team who want more in life and want to do something about it. Let me tell you something, folks. I'm no different than anybody here. I just had the desire. Okay, but I cannot take anybody to any place if they don't have the desire to get there. Okay, and I'm black and white. There's no gray in the middle with me. I think that's fair because what you see is what you get. It's my job to teach you to get from where you are to where you want to be, whether it's through a gut punch or a rub in the back to say everything's going to be okay. Our job is to resolve people's problems. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what you have no hair. If you have hair, you can be successful in this business. I don't care where you are in your life. Only you know that. Okay? But I'll tell you this. The minute that you change the way you think and say, you know what? I am deserving to be successful, things will change. Okay? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Remember that. How you do one thing is how you do everything. The speed of the group is the speed of the leader. The more that you pour into your team, if you're not a manager today, get with your sponsor right now and get with George and put a plan of attack to get you to manager. From there, we can build. From there, it branches out. But you have to get to manager first. I'm a senior presidential director today, but I was a manager before. I still go manager. George went manager. Helen went manager. Okay? Sandy went manager now to director. Why? Because she is purpose-driven. Everybody can build a massive organization if you just say yes, tell the world, and figure it out later. Okay? George just became a copycat, but he copied the right cat. All you have to do is become copycats. I'm telling you right now, your life will change in a matter of 90 days if you just decide to become a manager-making machine. That's all I was, a manager-making machine. I didn't worry about the end result. I worry about the now. And the more managers you make, the bigger your organization is going to grow. It's just not about enrolling people. Don't be an enroller. Be a sponsor. Lead by example. You have to lead by example. Folks, the minute that you say to yourself, I'm deserving. Listen, a lot of people don't like to talk about the business opportunity. Stop it. People are broke Everyone's broke, but at a different level. Remember that. Behind closed doors, I don't care if you carry a briefcase, you're in the suit and you're driving a BMW. You're broke at a different level. I have lawyers, doctors, chiropractors in my organization looking for different streams of income, multiple streams of income. You have a job, and at the end of the week, money comes in, money goes out, folks. You don't have enough. You're deserving to have another stream of income. If you have a job in your LifeWave, congratulations. You have 2 streams of income. Let's work on the third. But let's grow this too. You cannot have many seeds because you don't have enough water. You only have enough water for 1 seed. Remember that. Only have enough water for 1 seed. And when this seed grows, then you can add water to another seed and then to another seed. Concentrate on one thing. You only have enough water and energy to concentrate on one thing. I promise you, you follow what the leadership tells you, within the next 90 days, you're going to change. And in 90 days, when you see the change, set another 90-day target and watch what happens. 6 months, your life can change totally. Just be a copycat, folks. George, I'm going to give the baton back to you because Alex just...
They're talking about cats, and this is for Sandy because of...
I'll be right back.
Okay. He's got to get Alex off the bus. So talking about cats, you know the expression, there's many ways to skin a cat? All right. But there are a lot of different cats out there, so you skin them all differently. And so some people, every single person is a different story who you're going to talk to. I was just now on a cruise for internet marketers. I had 30 seconds to talk to 450 people. And I managed to reach one person who I'm going to meet in Mexico next week who says, I want to make this huge. And he's got an app, and 30 seconds you can reach people. But then again, another man, I reached him, and he may or may not use the patches, but he said he liked me. And he said, I want to introduce you. I want to send this information to a friend of mine in London. So I talked with this guy today, and we didn't talk about anything to do with patches or LifeWave. We just met each other. And by the end, he said to me, hey, this guy's super connected. He said, you know what? I really enjoyed our talk. I want to help you. Get me this, this, and this. And you never know. You never know what's going to happen. But if I talk to him just in one way, I wouldn't have... So every person is different. So you have to kind of not vomit on them with the same thing. You just have to play, have fun with it. That's what I do, have a lot of fun. And the other thing, because we were talking about animals, I'm going to talk about rabbits. I asked a friend of mine who's a hunter, I said, you hunt rabbits? Do you hunt rabbits? He said, yep. I said, have you ever managed to hunt 2 rabbits simultaneously? He cracked up laughing. You can't hunt 2 rabbits at the same time. So I've had a lot of people who said to me, oh, there's this and there's that and there's the other. And I said, well, you know what? I'm fully focused on LifeWave. That's what I'm doing. And these are the reasons why. And one person said, you know what? I get it now. And that person is fully focused on 1 rabbit, not 2. So build and get yourself strong. And it's true. You see some things unfolding in front of your eyes. It's amazing. So cats and rabbits. So has anybody else got something they would like to say out loud? I love to, you can just open your mic. I don't mute everybody. If you want to say something, open your mic.
George?
Yeah.
Just a question. If we have had someone signing on and they maybe have completed the company field in the sign-on as opposed to their name and come through as a company there and not a personal, can we just phone? Can we just
yes.
ask
Now,
them to change
look,
it?
I phone all the time, and if you're in South Africa, what I would recommend you to do is get a Skype Out account, unless you've got a good way of calling Ireland. I use Skype Out. It's 120 euros a year. I can call 60 countries with landlines in all those countries and mobiles in countries which aren't Europe, because Europe has GSM and elsewhere they got a different system. So I use Skype out. I have if you get stuck trying to find, because it's a bit hard to find it on their website. If you get stuck, reach out to me and I'll help you find it. But you know, I have developed a personal relationship with pretty much everybody in Support in Ireland. So, you know,
great. Okay.
if
So
you're,
that's a good phone, is Support in Ireland.
yeah, so it's an
Okay.
Irish phone number, but when you develop a personal relationship with them, it's great because, you know.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, George. That's a
You're
help.
welcome.
It can be changed, and there's not a timeline on that. If they joined, if they did,
Look.
does it have to be done within a month or something
Yeah,
like that?
look, if it was a mistake, I would do it sooner rather than later.
Okay.
It may be that one day you're to the point where you say it's in my personal name, but it's more intelligent me to have it in a company name. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I've seen people do that. I've not done it myself, but I believe that would then need to go to compliance for the authorization. But you know, I don't know that, and each person's situation is different. But if it's a mistake. Excuse me. Yeah. So
You can change it. Thank you.
Dr. O wants to say something.
Thank you.
You can unmute if you wish.
No, I was just looking at you, trying to catch your breath for a minute there and saying, just let it go, hold it, and don't try to talk through it.
You're right there. So Carola says you can chat with Support. Live chat is great. I hate chat personally. I'm a talker. I mean, I'll do WhatsApp. Like I said, I barely go to Facebook. I hate barely ever go to Telegram. I stay with WhatsApp because that's my bandwidth. But so I'll never use live chat. I'll always pick up a phone. And if I'm ever dealing with a new organization, I always phone them up to see what they're like on the phone. But that's me, my way of doing it. But everybody's finds their own way. So anybody else would like to say something? Wayne, you've been there. I see you've been taking notes every so often. And I will get on one of the calls where you're speaking. And anybody else? Otherwise, I think we've probably done. We've had a great call. I'm happy. You know, like the auctioneer says, going, gone, speak now or forever hold your peace. Thank you, Carola.
Thank you, George and Kavi, for everything that you've shared with us tonight. It was a very informative session. We appreciate it.
Cool. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, George. Thank you for all the support. It's really appreciated, especially when it feels daunting. It always feels like we can just reach out to you and to the whole group. So really very much appreciated, everyone.
I appreciate everybody. You know, this is you know, Javi always says, you know, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business on your own. So we're all working together and, you know, there's always, for example, there's a guy on my Spanish group who I used to post all the things, and I said, I noticed that he's reposting everything I post. So now I only have to post once in one of the Spanish groups, and he goes and reposts it elsewhere. So, you know, you will notice that people show themselves, as what I said in the beginning, they show themselves as leaders. And he's definitely, you know, his manager on his way to director, and in his case, he's putting on the Spanish groups in Spanish, little images he's doing for people to use on social media and so on and so forth. So you will in time get to see who in your organization, who are the people who are really going for it, and then you'll know who to support as much as possible. Okay. Javi, you want to say
Thanks, George. And thanks, everyone.
Javi, you want to say anything, or he's just going to wave goodbye? All right, I'm going to hit the end button, and tonight I'm going to have dinner before 10 o'clock at night.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Javi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okie dokie.
Thank you, George. Have a great weekend.
And I'll be there on Friday on the Saturday morning. For registration is at 9:30. I'll be there at 9 for sure.
Okay, I'll try and be there about the same time.
Yeah, super. And we have Dr. Stacy coming from America to talk as well. I don't know if you've seen her on any of this. She's got a channel, YouTube channel. Alison was saying she was going to do a channel like Dr. Stacy, so she'll get to meet and talk.
She's
with
amazing.
Stacy.
There's
So-
a lot to learn from her. It's wonderful.
So it's going to be interesting, going to be fun.
Brilliant, it will be fun.
See you guys.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to stop the recording. Stop the recording.